Legacy. When you hear that word, what does it mean to you? You know, what's the meaning that you do you even think about your legacy? Is that something that you come across you? What's going to be your legacy? How people going to remember you after you're gone? I have to say, the older I'm getting, the more this topic is coming back in my brain, right? You know, when you're in your 20s, at least, I can only speak for me, but I'm assuming, because at least my friends was the same way to a certain level. In your 20s, usually, you living day to day, you enjoying life. You from 20 to your early 30s, I call it freedom. You just experienced your first freedom. You got out of your parents, locks. And now a lot of time you're on your own, paying your own bills, dating, going out, pretty much being a young man or woman. But then, it's day to day, it's 6 month goals that you have, man, maybe a year, but you're not really stressing about all those things. And then when you get to your 30s, okay, especially if you got kids. I got my firstborn, I was 24. 24, I was very young. Actually, I remember back then, most of my friends thought it was the end, man. That's it. You're dead at 24. Life is over. It's so funny how the way we think when you're on our 20s and the way we think, especially men, when we think the way as we get older and then we realize kids are a blessing. My firstborn, she made me who I am today. It forced me to get mature and grow and speed up and all those things. But let's go back to our topic, man, legacy. And when I talk about legacy, that's something that came across in my mid-30s, right? I was like, okay, well, what's this life about? What happened after you're gone, man? One of the things I associated legacy with is the impact you have on others. That's how you build your legacy. You don't build legacy by how much money you make, how many cars you bought, how many houses you got, how many this, how many personal things. That's not how you build a legacy. You build a legacy based on the impact you have on others. Legacy and impact goes hand in hand, right? And the older I'm getting, the more I'm thinking about it. Especially now, I got two more kids. I got 3 kids, but 2 younger ones. And that's what I mean by legacy. What impact am I going to have on them? That's my priority, obviously, like any parents, but not just on them, but others. And I'm not talking about the legacy we're accustomed to when we hear the billionaires talking about how they're going to change the world. That's great. But that legacy that transcends, frontiers, barriers, countries, and all that, where we call it global legacy, and with the donation they make, billions of dollars they leave on. That's awesome. That's great. That's not the legacy. Most of us will not achieve that type of legacy, which is fine. This is okay. I don't see, that's not really the goal or target. Whatever impact you have on one person, 2 person, that's already a legacy. But it's extremely important for you guys to understand how key it is to start thinking about your legacy. Because it makes you aware that, we in this planet for a short period of time. And then we gone. We are gone, right? I'm 44 today. This is already close to half a century. Half a century, man. For half a century, well, at least for 20 years, you think about yourself. I want this. I want a car. I want a house. I want this quality of life. I want my kids to go there. I want this. It's I. But when you start talking about others, when you have this, concept of others, what impact I'm going to have on others, which life can I change what benefit can I bring to others, including your immediate family, kids, so on and so forth. That's when you start building your legacy. And to me, a man or woman not thinking about legacy, it's like a car with no wheels, man. Yeah, you know, you can have this beautiful car, but with no wheels, you're not going anywhere. You're not going to be remembered for anything but your selfishness. And the core, for me, of legacy, it's really the impact you have on others. The way you impact them doesn't matter. So this is something you really, really need to start thinking about. You know, what is your legacy? What do you want your legacy to be? Don't wait till you're 60, 70, 90, and oh man, and start living in regrets of what you should, could, would have been, and realizing it's too late. It's too late, man. Life is beyond you, man. You know, life is beyond ourselves. Are selfish, because humans, we're so selfish. We only think about ourselves 24/7 days a week. We don't even see people around us. We very few people. That's why you don't hear so many legacy out there. Of course, you know, it's not, the media only select a few, but when you talk about even your immediate family, ask uncle this, grandfather, and all those things, you don't hear much. The few you hear have done something beyond themselves. That's what you need to focus on. That's really, that's a topic that keeps coming back in my mind. I just wanted to share with you guys, you know, about legacy. Why is that important? Why can that be impacted? Because, you know, obviously when you're gone, you're gone. It doesn't matter. But the impact you're going to have on others stay there for life. For life. It transcends your you know, it will transcend yourself while you're here beyond, and people will remember you for what you've done for others. So think about it, man. Think about it, and really start paying attention to the impact you can have on others, and what can you bring to others. What value can you bring? How can you help them? That'll be a game changer. So take care. Let me know what you think, man, about legacy. Is that something you think about? Is that something you plan to have? You know, and in which space do you think that you can impact others on? Because that's very important. You shouldn't just give them the good words, like they say, and just the words of support, but really be there and support them and help them. So thanks, man. Check out. Let me know what you think. Take care.